The Book of Enoch is an ancient mystical text that expands on stories briefly mentioned in the Bible. It's a collection of visions and writings attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, and it delves into cosmic secrets, angels, and the nature of evil. One of its most intriguing sections is about the Watchers, fallen angels who descended to earth, took human wives, and taught forbidden knowledge, leading to chaos in the creation of giants. However, giants were not the only creatures that the Watchers created. The history of hybrids is complex and very extensive, so I'll do my best to simplify the history of these beings. Hybrids in the Book of Enoch are a mixture of humans and some other creature, usually a mixture of humans and animals, or humans and angels. But it's the human-animal hybrids that are more mysterious since they're spoken about less than the Watchers' offsprings. In my first video, I explained how the hybrids came to be, but for those who didn't see it, I will briefly go over how these human-animal hybrids were created. The Book of Enoch tells us how the Watchers took 200 of every animal, including humans, to genetically manipulate them to become strange hybrid creatures. We're actually told this in 2 Enoch, when there is clearly a distinction between the Nephilim and what the angels with Enoch calls great monsters and great enmity. This ultimately means the angels told Enoch that the giants weren't the only hybrids roaming the earth. So what exactly are they? Let's take a look at the history of hybrid beings. One of the most famous early examples of hybrid beings comes from ancient Egypt, where gods like Anubis, a man with a jackal's head, and Horus, a falcon-headed deity, embodied both human and animal traits. These hybrids often symbolized divine power, wisdom, or cosmic order. They were revered as gods who ruled over various aspects of life, such as the afterlife, the sky, and warfare. In ancient Greece, hybrids appeared in many famous myths. The Minotaur, a man with the head of a bull, was imprisoned in a labyrinth, symbolizing both brute strength and the human struggle against savagery. Centaurs, half-human, half-horse beings, represented the conflict between human rationality and untamed animal instincts. The Chimera, a terrifying monster with the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a snake, embodied chaos and danger. In Mesopotamian culture, hybrid beings like the Lamassu, a winged bull with a human face, guarded city gates, offering protection from evil. These creatures were both majestic and intimidating, showcasing the power of divine beings in human affairs. During the Middle Ages, hybrid beings took on more religious and moral dimensions. Dragons, often depicted as serpentine creatures with bat-like wings, represented sin, greed, or heresy. Gargoyles, stone carvings of grotesque hybrid creatures, adorned churches and were believed to ward off evil spirits. No matter the belief and no matter the culture, there always seems to be one thing in common: hybrids. Many, if not all, hybrids seem to represent something more esoteric, similar to how demons represent different principles. Demons were also created by the Watchers, since demons are the spirits of the Nephilim giants. But some descriptions of demons do not fit the description of the Nephilim. Actually, many of them look like strange hybrid creatures according to their description. Perhaps the hybrid beings that the Watchers created were also doomed to become demons, especially since they were referred to as great monsters and great enmity. How they were described means they were very hostile creatures, just like the Nephilim giants. Perhaps even worse, demons described as hybrids often appear as grotesque and unsettling blends of various creatures, combining human features with those of animals, mythical beasts, or even distorted otherworldly elements. Here are some common characteristics of hybrid demons. A demon might have the body of a human, but a head resembling that of a wolf, goat, or serpent. Sometimes these heads can have exaggerated or monstrous features such as elongated jaws, multiple eyes, or sharp, jagged teeth. Hybrid demons may possess the arms, legs, or wings of various animals. For example, they could have clawed, reptilian arms, hooved goat legs, or bat-like wings. Demons with human-like faces but exaggerated demonic features. Glowing eyes, fanged mouths, or horns are often portrayed. Their expressions are often twisted in malice or rage. If these are indeed creations of the Watcher angels, we can just get an idea of how twisted these angels truly are. Let's look deeper into who the Watchers actually are to get a better understanding of these twisted angels. The Watchers are perhaps the worst angels of all time. But where did this all start? The Watchers are originally from the fifth heaven. There is a total of 10 levels to heaven, and they reside in the fifth. In the Book of Enoch, specifically in the section known as the Book of the Watchers, Enoch describes his journey through the heavens. When he reaches the fifth heaven, he encounters the Grigori, also known as the Watchers. They are described as giants with faces that are withered and sorrowful. The Watchers are bound and lamenting their fate as they are awaiting judgment for their rebellion against God. The question is, what made these angels want to create such grotesque creatures? And the answer to that is fairly simple: lust. The Watchers had an unquenchable amount of lust that they could not control, and it led to their demise. 200 of the Watchers descended to Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is located in the eastern Lebanon mountain range, on the border of Syria, Lebanon, and the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. When the angels landed on Mount Hermon, the agreement was made, and a holy rule was broken. On Mount Hermon, the Watchers agreed to interbreed with humans, with the leader Samyaza saying, "I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin." And they all answered him and said, "Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing." Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. The Watchers were actually terrified of God, which is why even their leader was so scared to do this act alone. Ultimately, in the end, the Watchers paid the ultimate price for contaminating the world during the antediluvian period. The most common punishment for the Watchers was their imprisonment. According to 1 Enoch, God was angered by their rebellion and instructed the archangels, especially Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel, to take action. The Watchers were bound and imprisoned in the depths of the earth, often in regions called darkness or the abyss, until the final judgment. As spiritual beings who initially had power and authority over humanity, their fall resulted in a complete loss of their divine status. They were stripped of their heavenly nature and left powerless in their imprisonment. The hybrids and Nephilim, the giants born from their union with human women, were also part of the punishment. In the story, God sends a flood to wipe out the Nephilim and cleanse the earth of their corruption. Some traditions suggest that the spirits of the Nephilim became the evil spirits or demons that roamed the earth after the bodies of the giants were destroyed. The fall and punishment of the Watchers serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris, disobedience to divine law, and the consequences of misusing power.